Monster Hunter has an extremely well-realized fictional ecosystem. This is maintained through both expertly crafted game settings with hundreds of details and hidden interactions, but also through heaps of extra #lore and info distributed through the many books the series has released. One example of such info are the official Phylogenies, or evolutionary trees. These diagrams list all the known monsters, chart their evolutionary relations, and are, in short, the bane of my existence. Just like the Monster Hunter world map, compiling and illustrating the Monster Hunter evolutionary tree is one of those projects that I come back to over and over again, revision after revision, until I go insane. Luckily, Capcom does provide us with a lot more info about phylogenetic trees. Almost every Monster Hunter game receives a lore book of some kind, and each lore book contains an updated phylogeny. The only book that didn't have one was the Monster Hunter World Book, coincidentally the only one of these books that's ever been released in English. Using this official info, and with a lot of back and forth, I think I've finally compiled a comprehensive version of the Monster Hunter phylogeny that I am happy enough with to present to you in this video. I will also teach you how to actually read a phylogeny, both real and fictional ones, but instead of going through all of that in detail, which would take ages, I'm just giving you access to it. Link is in the description, peruse the tree to your heart's content. This tree will be the basis for all of my ecology videos in the future. I will of course try to keep it updated once the Monster Hunter Wilds lore book comes out, whenever that is. Now, let's dive into the tree itself. As you can see, it's a typical evolutionary tree. Going from left to right, an evolutionary phylum splits from order to suborder to infraorder and so on, all the way until you get to monster species, including branches for subspecies, of course. On the far right, I added columns to account for monster variations such as variants and deviants, but also interspecies variations, such as the sexual dimorphism found in the Wraths. And, of course, everything has icons. Can't forget about the icons. I love Monster Hunter icons. Like all of my Monster Hunter related stuff, this tree is based on the game's canon with a sprinkling of my own personal additions. As the channel grows, it becomes easier for information from my videos to spread, and with that in mind, I would like to stick closer to the official information going forward when I can. So, this tree is essentially identical to the phylogeny found in Haunting of the Sun, Monster Hunter Sunbreak's lore book. The boxes in red are things that I have added. Usually, the official tree simply has a box that says unknown here instead. Besides that, the binomial names for each monster species are entirely made up by me, so if you dislike them, feel free to ignore them. Lastly, one major addition by me is the column here called Misclassified Variants. This is basically my way of accounting for monsters such as Black Diablos, which is called a subspecies in the games, but then you read its description in the lore book and it turns out, oh wait, it's not actually a different species, just a female Diablos in heat. This happens a lot, especially in the earlier games, and if you want to know more about why, Lutyrannus made a great write-up regarding that a while ago, link in the description. As far as my tree and my videos are concerned, I treat these cases as if the guild had simply been too eager to classify stuff as subspecies in its early days, leading to a bunch of these misclassifications where the term variant would actually be a lot more appropriate. So I put them into this column, while variants that both fit the actual definition of a variant and are called such in the games go in the true variants section. These three elements are the only additions by me. Aside from that, this tree is entirely canonical. I have also included the Japanese spellings for the taxa where available, in case you want to scrutinize or alter any of the translations I went for. Special thanks to Zugzwang, by the way. Translating these boys was a team effort. I guess now would be a good time to tell you how one actually reads a phylogenetic tree, eh? I'm sure many of you learned this at school, but for those that did not, and those that forgot, here is a quick refresher. A phylogenetic tree allows you to depict which species are the most closely related to each other by connecting them via these branching paths. These T-shaped branch points are called nodes and represent the last point in time in which the species connected to the node shared a common ancestor. So, for example, I want to know which living monster species the Tigrex is most closely related to. We find Tigrex on the tree in the center right, and then travel left until we hit a node. Turns out, the closest relatives of the Tigrex are its subspecies. How surprising. Okay, let's find out who is its next closest relative then. We continue traveling left until we hit the next node, which connects us to the Raths. This means that the Raths are the Tigrex's closest relatives besides its own subspecies. A little further left, we hit the next node, which connects us to, well, nearly all flying wyvern. This means that the Tigrex is more closely related to the Raths than it is to all other flying wyvern. It's also important to know that how close a species is to the Tigrex vertically makes no difference here. All that matters is which node they are connected by. So the Tigrex is equally as related to the Nargacuga as it is to the Giginox, because they both share the same node with Tigrex. If we were to go further left, we'd see that the Tigrex is more closely related to all other flying wyvern than it is to Acantor and Ucanlos, and so on. By going left, you'll eventually hit the order taxa, wyvern hip in this case, which is the furthest the official trees go. Relations past this point are not depicted and, frankly, not really relevant for our purposes. Using this method, you can explore the relations between monsters and, yes, even real animals on real phylogenies. They all work like this. It's important to keep in mind that a phylogeny is just a model, however. They exist to describe a specific hypothesis of evolutionary relations, and can look quite different based on who is making them and for what purpose. The Monster Hunter lore books are written from an in-universe perspective, and so these trees are models supposedly created by the Royal Paleontology Scriveners of Schrade. This is also the canonical explanation as to why these trees change with every book. The Scriveners adjust their model as more knowledge is gained. Right, I think that's a decent enough appetizer. I don't want to take away the joy of just scrolling through the tree from you, so let's call it a day here. Feel free to use this tree for your fan projects, link to it whenever you need someone to see it, and share it whenever you think people might be interested in it. You can even make your own version if you want to. For example, I excluded all the frontier and online monsters because, frankly, it's a nightmare trying to get your head around them since they don't really have official trees to my knowledge. So, go nuts. I will obviously always appreciate being credited for it, but yeah, aside from that, the tree is yours. Do with it what you want. Take care, everyone. See you next time. Thank you all so much for watching, and a special thank you, of course, to all of my patrons. I want to especially thank Glitchy, Jacob Coleman, Adam, Draco Vane, Hellbug Hunter, Shebo, M1half12, Regal Eagle, Ronger97, Quali, Elzendo Carlo, Matt Hat 124, My Name Gone, The Dollarfish, King Dre, Ryan Hook, Veraxis, Thick, Kuroneko, Zion HV Augensen, AJ Rivera, Alastair, Jacob the Numbnut, Soruka, Sir Newt, Evie, Rambling Robin, Hashi, Black Ace 202, Dissy, Habo Himbro Mirror, Magenta, Arcturian 711, Russell, Vulgar Beast, Person 212, Claire Miboon, Oakwood Tree, Mr. Pyramid, Makot 02, Geo, Jamie Tate, Niels Schlatter, Iron Camel, And nah, I'm going to bed. Thank you as always, and I'll see you next time for hopefully a bit of a bigger video. Alright, take care. Bye bye.